influencer, Randy Horton, self-care and healthy living guru, Shiny Hippie, and musical guest, Lizzie Bear. And now, here's a man who loves the smell of vinyl in the morning. Here's Jim!
Oh boy, no pressure at all, Chris Rossetti. Good evening, everybody. Welcome aboard to JS Live. My name is Jim. I am from the northwest suburbs of Chicago, thanking you for spending your Thursday evening, or in some cases, in other parts of the world, your Friday with us here on HAPS, the network of now. Tonight, we have an outstanding program for you. Unbelievable program tonight. We don't have just one or two or three people. We have four outstanding guests on our program this evening. So we are basically doing JS Live on steroids. It will be a fun, action-packed program for the whole family. We will also be, through the use of HAPS, the network of now, right over there to my left, ladies and gentlemen, of course, is our live virtual studio audience. Social distancing has been enforced here. No need to wear masks, though, because we're all over the world. So you get the whole point tonight. So tonight on this magnificent program, we will have from the beautiful Philippines, the one and only Randy Horton will be here, ladies and gentlemen. Also this evening, we're going to go from the Philippines over the Pacific Ocean into San Diego, California, where the amazing and spectacular Shiny Hippie will join us this evening. Also tonight, not only one, but two musical performances for you this evening. The first one will be from beautiful British Columbia. We'll join Lizzie Bear over at her beautiful studio. And last but not least, the 11th hour appearance from none other than the one and only Chris Gales from Memphis, Tennessee. And of course, don't forget, you've got Interaction City right over there. So please say hi to each other, share this out, and make it happen. We're going to wing this tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. And remember, kids, don't worry, it's not February quite yet. But what I can tell you is that there is something called, yes, ladies and gentlemen, our friends at Kraft. Yes, the friends at Kraft have decided to announce pink mac and cheese for Valentine's Day. Kid you not. And it allegedly tastes a little bit different than the American cheese that you usually see, or cheese-flavored product that you see in that stuff. So lo and behold, we may have to keep our eyes peeled on this product and other Valentine's Day gimmicks as we end the month of January. Do we really want to go into February? Not yet. Well, I do, because I want to get warmer.
A city with over 43,000 bed-bug-free hotel rooms. It's JS Live! Tonight's guests include social media influencer Randy Horton, self-care and healthy living guru Shiny Hippie, and musical guest Lizzie Bear. And now, here's a man who loves the smell of vinyl in the morning. Here's Jim!
Told ya. I told you. This is like early 90s local origination cable access television. Yes, that's right. Except I don't have a mullet this time. All right, I digress. Anyway, our first guest this evening. Yes, we have guests this evening, and they're going to have to tolerate the threshold of live, raw television. Live, raw television, ladies and gentlemen. The raw live streaming, as they say. Our first guest tonight, guys, is a social media influencer. Obviously, a world traveler. He went from Tennessee to Saudi Arabia to other parts throughout the Middle East. And when we join him right now, he is going to be joining us from the Philippines, folks. I kid you not. He is one of the most generous people I know on this platform. He includes everybody. It's about inclusion, not exclusion. And he's an amazing broadcaster, too. So make sure you give him a follow. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice, warm welcome to the one and only Randy Horton. Hello, Randy. How are you, my friend?
A city with over 43,000 bed-bug-free hotel rooms.
We do a nice intro every time.
I know.
Tonight's guests include social media influencer Randy Horton, self-care and healthy living guru Shiny Hippie, and musical guest Lizzie Bear. And now, here's a man who loves the smell of vinyl in the morning. Here's Jim!
Thank you. All right. Yeah. Now,
Live
oh my
from
God!
Chicago.
How are you, man? It just doesn't want to stop. Hi, Randy. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. I'm waiting for the third introduction to roll through.
Hey, we just killed off 2 minutes just like that.
Yeah, that was great. That was the first 2 minutes of intros. Anyway, no worries. So what's up, Jim?
Not much. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Friday afternoon to you. It's what, 12:07 over there?
Are we at Friday or Thursday? Oh, we are Friday. I didn't even know what day it was. You know, I'm on a vacation, so I'm not really worried about which day, the date, or any of the stuff. That's why when you invited me, I had to say, huh? When is that? What time is that?
What is
now,
this?
are you going to be joining me side by side, or we're going to do this solo here?
No, we can squeeze this in a little bit here. Like I said, this is raw television here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what I can do here. I'm trying to get we're going to improvise this here, kids. So bear with me here. Let's go like that.
From Chicago,
that.
A city with over 43,000 bed-bug-free hotel rooms. It's JS Live! Wow. Tonight's guests include social media influencer Randy Horton, self-care and healthy living.
So let's do this. Let's just do a Ross reset. Chris Rossetti, we love you. Thank you for doing the voiceover. That's Magic Pipes, Chris Rossetti. And we're going to bring back in me and Mr. Randy. Here we go, sir. Let's do that and that. Boom, boom, boom. And lo and behold, we should see you here shortly if we can get this picture-in-picture to work. It's been kind of glitchy here. It was a little bit smoother last week. Again, work in progress.
Hello, Andy. Hello, Yassine. Welcome, everyone.
There we go. We're trying to get this to work. My goodness. I usually do picture-in-picture, and I do stack and everything. Here, oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, we have a surprise guest.
I heard there was a tech issue. I'm going to do my best to help out here. This is not a planned appearance. Okay, so we have this rolling, amazing intro cred. I don't know who did the voiceover for that, but you better give him a raise.
Chris Rossetti gets royalties every time we play it.
That was amazing. Chris Rossetti rocking it. Cool. So I'm just going to play a little behind the scenes here and make my way back to the comments, but love the show. Really stoked to have so many cool guests on tonight that I'm seeing here. I'll bring you guys on screen. I will jump to the background here.
Thank you.
And looks like things are stabilized, huh?
Yeah.
Stable. Thank you, Mr. Peter.
I was trying to do stack, and it wouldn't stack for me. And I was like, okay. So thank you so much. That is Peter, everyone. Thank you so much. An outstanding Q&A session this afternoon with Peter and Pablo, and also an outstanding roundtable last night with HAPS involving the subject of science. So make sure you check out that replay here on HAPS, the Network of Now. Joined here to my left. Oh my God! Wait till I get green screen. Yeah, it's gonna definitely set things back another century. Randy Horton, ladies and gentlemen, from beautiful, scenic the Philippines today. Well, Randy, oh my God! Quick question for you here. When did you actually start live streaming? Was it on Periscope or was it YouTube? Where did you start out?
You know, I was live streaming on Twitter before they had a live stream before Periscope. And I started playing around with that in the Philippines, but I never had a proper data connection. You know, the proper streaming thing has only happened to us in the past, what do you think, 4 years? Previously, everything was a bit of a challenge. So there was no data throughout the world where you could stream. You had to be sitting at home. And that was really that was quite a bit of a headache. Then after that, I had played around. Then I went on Periscope, and I started doing the daily broadcast. So I started showing my life daily. No shows, no schedule. And I kind of stuck with the no schedule thing. That's kind of me, a random broadcaster, no schedule type person, you know?
Just impromptu. Do you remember the exact location where you were when you did your very first live stream?
I think I was in New Orleans trying to do it. I was out on the bayou in New Orleans in a kayak.
Oh my God.
It's Bayou St. John, you know?
So you were, so it wasn't like you were in the corridor or some touristy place. You were literally well south into the Delta pretty much.
I was in the bayou in a kayak. I was actually at that time doing pre-recorded stuff with my GoPro mounted to the kayak.
Oh my
I was
God!
going down in Port Fourchon and doing a lot of fishing.
What about were you like crabbing down there, or
I
what
was
were you?
red fishing, and a friend of mine had a nice little cabin on a bayou.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
they had been in their family for like 100+ years. The only way to get there was by a kayak, and that was just it. We were just fishing there.
Wow, nice. No, so pretty much you went from Tennessee, you were in New Orleans for a little bit, and was this like on Ustream or was it on Periscope? Do you remember which app it was, or was it just, or was it like live stream, one of those old school?
It was a little bit on YouTube, I believe. It was picked up by the Louisiana Sportsman.
Nice.
I made it. Oh, I know what happened. I made it to the news. I sunk a boat 1 mile offshore and had to swim to shore at night.
Oh, gee. Oh my God. Are you okay?
Yeah, I made it fine, of course. But and then I got real popular from the guy who sunk his brand new boat within 10 hours of buying it.
Oh my God. So what happened there? Did you have to kind of spring for another boat, or the guy kind of?
No, actually, I blamed it on a sporting goods store. I don't want to name them.
Oh, okay.
They refunded my Monday.
Problem solved.
I actually bought the maximum size boat with a maximum size recommended motor.
Right.
And when I started offshore, we were going late at night trying to get to the cabin. I think we sunk offshore at like 1:32 in the morning. It was quite intense.
Oh my God. So in the middle of the night, that's a perfect time to go out, go crabbing, go fishing. So you do a lot of angling. Do you still do a lot of angling, a lot of fishing?
I know I don't anymore. Just in
Okay.
Louisiana, the sportsman paradise. It's hard not to drop a line in the water and enjoy the surroundings.
It's just, I have family down there. It's an absolute blue. Obviously the restaurants, the nightlife, but the most thing I love the most, I imagine you could agree with me, is just the wildlife down there. It's unlike anything you see anywhere in the country. It's amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. It's very enjoyable down in Louisiana. Anyway, I had moved to Louisiana for a short while after Katrina because my brother and I had started a business, and I bought a very old house, like a 1910 house, to restore.
Oh, wow. So this is like
I had moved there for a little bit of money and investment after spending 14 years in Saudi.
Okay, so you came back from Saudi back here to the States. You settled in Louisiana after Katrina. That was 2005 was Katrina, and then you probably moved in a couple of years after that because the property values were much more affordable, obviously. And what did you do? Just like redo the house, or?
Yeah, we bought a house that looked like somebody drove a school bus through the middle of it. There was literally a 20 by 30 hole in the side of it.
Oh,
but it was right on a main street, right near downtown. So it was a lot of work.
So you were probably like in the Garden District on St. Charles over there, somewhere in that vicinity.
We were on Jefferson Davis Parkway, right on the main thoroughfare there. We could walk down to City Park and all of these things. So we were one of the few houses that had a garage below it.
Yeah.
And during the restoration, we found parts to the horse and buggy and where they tied it up. And behind the plaster, we found paintings from the 1900s. It was quite a unique experience.
That is awesome. I just love the history of that city. Great culture, great art scene, great music scene, outstanding restaurants, and spectacular architecture. By the way, if you're just rolling into the program, you're like, wait a second, this isn't Kimmel, this isn't this isn't Colbert, this isn't any of those other shows. No, this is JS Live. It's Haps's late night talking variety program. I'm Jim from the northwest suburbs of Chicago, joined this evening, and in this case, joined this afternoon by the one and only Randy Horton. And Randy, I was just going to say, you've been to Saudi, obviously. You lived there for a long time. How did you wind up in Saudi? Was it for business or was it just curiosity?
Actually, in the 90s, I was living in Long Beach, California. Okay. And I was doing very well, actually, as doing consulting work with a pharmaceutical company and part-time work with Lucent, finding sites and developing business.
Okay.
Anyway, one day I walked into a 7-Eleven, and standing in line, I looked to my left to the magazine rack, and I don't know why, but I noticed a magazine rack, and there was a magazine that said 200 companies from around the world, their addresses, and their CEO's name. I bought the magazine. I took it home. I wrote 200 letters by hand to every CEO in the book. I made 200 resumes and I sent them by the post worldwide. 9 days later, somebody called me up and you said, "Do you want to work in Saudi?" I said, "Okay, let's go for it." And I left. It was just like that. No planning, just it happened.
So just all of a sudden, it just on the fly, literally spontaneous and everything. So what was it like? Was the culture change, or was there a culture shock? Everyone thinks that, you're halfway around the world and it's going to be completely different from the way of living here in the States. Was it like that, or was it more hospitable than you anticipated?
There was no culture shock whatsoever. I grew up in Tennessee. I grew up in kind of the buckle of the Bible Belt, and we were kind of a conservative community anyway. Even the city, we were dry, no alcohol allowed. And our parents made sure our whole life evolved around the church and the fellowship. So when I got to Saudi, it was like where I grew up. So I actually felt quite at home. Okay. So a lot of people say, "Oh, you would get a shock," but you don't. I get more of a shock here in the Philippines than I do in Saudi.
Which leads to this question. You're down there in Cebu City right now, and I've seen many of your broadcasts there. When you're driving around and everyone's like flying by in little mini bikes and on regular bicycles and everything like that. Culture shock in the Philippines. My dad actually was in the he was in Mindanao during World War II for 3 years. And obviously, yeah, so here we are 80 some years later. What culture shock are you referring to with the Philippines? Is it just the way of living, the lifestyle, or is it the culture?
It was totally unbelievably different from any place I'd ever been in my life. Wow. I'd been to South America. I'd been around the world. When I hopped off the plane in Philippines, and then when I went down to Mindanao, it was I just never seen anything like that before. My first trip, we were in Mindanao. I couldn't ride in the bus because it was 90% humidity and 90 degrees. So it was too hot. So I climbed the ladder and I sat on top with the luggage. And we were traveling, 80 miles an hour down gravel roads. And it was just the whole scenery was overtaking my mind. Every type of stimulation you could imagine. My ears, my eyes, everything was just like, whoa. It was quite shocking.
That it's just night and day. I mean, I saw the roads you drive on. They're very narrow. The houses are like really right on top of the streets and everything. How about
even the food? My first place I went to an ice cream place. Okay. And the first time they served me ice cream, there was beans and corn in my ice cream. I've never heard of anybody putting vegetables in their ice cream. So there's so many things there. It was something strange. Imagine kidney beans, black-eyed peas, and corn in your ice cream.
Unbelievable. I don't know. I'm glad I had ice cream earlier tonight, but that's a great visual. Hey, by the way, if you're just jumping in, I'm Jim from the northwest suburbs of Chicago. This is JS Live, the weekly late night talk and variety program here on HAPS, the network of now, joined over here that way. Yeah, see right there. That's Randy Horton over there in the Philippines. Randy, you mentioned the Middle East. You obviously from Saudi Arabia. You've been to Dubai, the UAE. Is there like a specific destination in the Middle East that you would say that somebody like me or some of our fine viewers on our virtual studio couch over here should check out sometime?
You know what? I think the whole Gulf countries, the GCC, from Saudi to Dubai to Bahrain, Kuwait, those are all nice places to visit. The Dubai is quite popular with tourism, but now Saudi has opened the gates. So you don't even need a visa to go to Saudi. And I think you're getting more of a realistic tourist destination there. Whereas not that Dubai is not a real destination, but it's got the modern shopping and it has more of those things,
I mean, you see that skyline of Dubai. I mean, it's just breathtaking. It looks like a major United American metropolitan city over there with all the buildings and the commerce and all the stores.
I got to spend a minute to get rid of our troll who won't stop harassing.
Ooh.
Yeah, the guy just timed.
Oh my goodness! I'm so sorry. I should be looking at wonderful comments here. Boy, some people are just a little bit A little bit agitated, but anyway, no big deal. You're amongst good people here, and we want to thank everyone for hanging out.
I have no problem. I'm just going to block them to save the viewers from the nastiness, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, by the way, guys, coming up later on this evening on this program, we have the one and only Shiny Hippie going to be joining us from San Diego. Also, musical guests Lizzie Bear, as well as, yes, a late addition to the Thursday night roster this evening from Memphis, musician, singer-songwriter Chris Gales will be joining us for some live music from the beautiful music capital of the Southeast, beautiful Tennessee, not too far from Beale Street over there. And Randy, I know that a lot of people are transitioning from Periscope over to Haps, and there's some people who are kind of reluctant to hit the old red button and everything. Just out of curiosity, are you looking to, what would you tell a aspiring or up-and-coming broadcaster? What would you do to encourage them to hit the go live button?
Well, it depends on your action. I was talking to some other broadcasters about the situation. And I know some broadcasters that are on other live streaming platforms, and it's actually how they make their living. You know, their live stream is their livelihood, and they need stability before they can risk their paycheck. So if you're depending on your paycheck every week, it may be too early to come to Haps. But if you're wanting to broadcast and build up your community and enjoy a new atmosphere, I think it's safe to come on over to Haps. But to bet your livelihood on it just right now is a little too early. And that may be a little cold, but I'm just being honest because I don't want to see a professional come over and put their livelihood in the hands of such situations, you know? So as soon as the stability is there, professionals, whoop, whoop, come on over. Right now, us amateurs, we can handle it.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing is that Haps Unity is community here. You don't have to sit through and be like, hey, everybody, how you doing? I'm here to, monetize and do all this and that. And there's others who are just like, hi, how are you? I'm just going to talk about my life. And blinders on. And, everybody has this. We talked about this on my Catalyst Candlescope last night. And I mentioned this on my Haps Game Trivia broadcasts on Saturday. Each of you out there, whether you're a viewer or a broadcaster, you have a story to tell and people want to hear about it. And Randy is the exact same way. As a matter of fact, Randy, the other day, I'm sitting there scrolling through my news feed here on Haps, and he had a subject that was called, Would You Like to Help Me Help Others? Now, that's a classic example of people like you, who we had on last week, and Randy here, who truly personify community in here. You were always on my broadcast over on Periscope. You're here on my broadcast here on Haps, and you knew about my story about my daughter, and you are a generous man, and for that, I and my family are forever indebted. And
thank you, sir. It was a pleasure. Also, though, I would like to go further about the community thing. Okay. I see a lot of people that are jumping all over the place trying to figure out what to do and where to be and who to be. I would like to say, be yourself.
Yes.
Quit reinventing yourself by thinking you're going to do what others do. Just be yourself.
Exactly.
And community is the unity. People will come together. There's enough people here that each other, you'll find your niches, you'll find your groups, and the others will find you. I was lucky. I got a lot of help when I was on Periscope due to my location, which was in the news. Saudi was in the news every day. Yep. And it was actually made it where I kind of went on every day because I was watching the media and it was totally inaccurate. Yes. So that's why I started going live every day to show people, wait a minute, this is not true. Yep. This is my daily life.
Exactly.
And then I had a help from that was Duty Ron. Duty Ron from Periscope, who has transitioned on over to YouTube. Duty Ron and I would hold like different things. We would pull little pictures out of anywhere in the world and say, oh, what is this? Oh, follow Duty Ron. And he would do the same to me. Follow Randy Horton. Yeah, we would pull those. We would just support each other. So if you find a few good people like yourself, like your show right now, you're supporting others and you're bringing people together. And the people in the comments here, I'm sorry we're not really talking to you as much.
I know.
It's kind of strange for me. but I'm doing the best I can not to read every comment, and I apologize.
I'm usually squirreling all the time when I read comments. This is like the one show I do where I'm literally focusing on our guest and our interview. And I think a lot of people who've known me for 5.5 years understand that. I usually squirrel, but you get the idea. But you're so spot on, Randy.
Golden Squirrel, the reward is fantastic, and I'm glad they put it on Haps. So it's very fantastic.
I didn't even see that coming. That was, I think it was Sassy Nays in the room. She DM'd me and said, Haps has a Golden Squirrel Award. I'm like, what?
Yep, there you go. Well, anyway, another thing I'd like to talk about with Haps is something that's different here than anywhere else. If you're watching this from Facebook to Twitter to Periscope,
yes,
you will find the staff at Haps will come into your broadcast and help you and listen to your needs and your wants. It's not like being on Twitter waiting 18 years, 6 months, and 3 days to get a response. The people are actually responding and listening to our needs. And that means a lot. They can't solve every need, but at least they're doing that,
Absolutely. And that's something Peter just jumped in here when we had Velvet Pipes, a.k.a. Scooterman, a.k.a. Chris Rossetti, who does our introduction. He got royalties 3 times because the intro played itself somehow when I went to split the screen up. But Peter Bittner, who is the head of community here at Haps, jumped into the broadcast and literally fixed everything up to where we have the way things I wanted it done. And for that, I'm very thankful. They're always there to help all of us, like Randy, myself, all of you guys in this room. Peter, Pablo, David Newman, Mark Goldman, Brett, the entire Haps leadership team has been outstanding.
It has been fantastic. That's what made me, when I came to try it, and then they were here, that's when I stayed and started inviting everybody I know to come over. And I didn't really think about those who did social media for a living. And then when I asked the ones who do it professionally, I actually found out that they didn't want to risk their livelihood. And so I couldn't blame them for that. It was kind of weird, I never thought about that. But those that are risking their livelihood, it's quite a concern. Yeah,
true. Very true. Randy, one more question for you, and then we're going to make way for Shiny Hippie. Shiny, we need you to jump in. I don't see you on my connected list here. We have to get her to join I'm looking in my broadcast studio here. So Shiny, if you're in the room, we need to add you on here, and I have you invited. So you have to hit the go live button or jump out of the broadcast, hit go live, or there's a new thing in there. I think there's a little red thing where it says you can join broadcast. Try clicking on that too, Shiny.
Okay, she is here and she's saying how.
Yes, so Shiny, I don't know if Peter's in here still or if anybody else is in here. If they can guide her, maybe Shiny.
The easiest way, Shiny Hippie, close this broadcast, press go live, and then you will find it, the broadcast in action. Click it, the red broadcast. So if you're just on your phone or computer, close this. There you go.
There she is. God, I love her. So what I'm going to do is I want to thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter Bittner, for helping everything. But Randy, thank you so much, my friend. Plug your stuff. Plug your handle here and other social media platforms, please.
Hey, Jim, as always, it's great to see you. We wish you all the best for you and your family. Thank you. And I'm out of here. Shiny Hippie, see you soon.
It's not working. It's not working.
All right, guys. So
Jim's going to get you. Okay.
Randy Horton, ladies and gentlemen, right over there, right there, guys. Take care, Randy.
Sure.
All right, guys. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be joined by the one and only Shiny Hippie, guys. Yes, so don't move. More madcap fun over most of this Haps network coming up straight ahead. Later on this evening, we also have Lizzie Bear as well as surprise musical guest Chris Gales, everybody. So be ready for that. Stick around. We shall return. Don't move, everybody.
I'm not on Twitter. I'm not.
I'm going to mute your audio here. Hold on, please. We'll be right back. Don't move. Woohoo!
Oh my God. so embarrassing. My guest is going through.
All right, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here on this wonderful program called HAPS, the Network of Now. Welcome to JS Live. I'm Jim from the northwest suburbs of Chicago. Thanking you for spending your Thursday evening with me here on this beautiful Thursday evening, a whopping 10 degrees outside in Chicago. Hopefully it's a lot warmer where you are and a lot drier. Coming up, Lizzie Bear will be on the program